This is an Astroneer tutorial about the auto arm. It's a detailed description of the auto arm, of the filter slot, and of its interaction with various other modules. This is the auto arm. It is a new item for the automation update. It'll pick up anything in the green circle and drop it into the blue circle. It uses 1 power constantly when it's on, even if it's not picking stuff up. So you got to be careful about that when you're have a lot of auto arms going at once. It has a slot in the very middle where if you put an item, it'll filter for that item. We'll get to that in a second. So here we go. We picked up that item. It won't put to any of the ground, but it will put to your backpack. So if you have specific things that are using specific amounts of stuff in some bigger projects, you want to be careful of running around because you could put stuff into your backpack instead of where you want to go. It will pick up from any loose storage and place it on any available storage space, but it will only put it on the space that is within the circle. So, this is outside the circle, so it can't put it on there. Same thing with picking stuff up. It'll only pick up stuff within the circle, even if it's on a platform. So it picked up that one, but it can't pick up the other. It picks up any tier 1 item. So here we have scrap, we have a seed, we have a research sample. It'll pick up all that stuff. So it'll pick up basically any item. For the filter slot, so we have a filter slot. Any item that you place here in the filter slot, the auto arm will only pick up that object. So here we're filtering for organic. It won't pick up the compound. It is specific to the item ID, not necessarily the name. So package objects will only pick up the specific packaged object. So this is picking up medium platforms, won't pick up the package generator. The ID is specific, so these are 2 separate different types of research sample. They're both called research sample, but it's only picking up this specifically shaped research sample. The filter cannot tell the difference between a full object and a half full object. So we have this soil canister. It'll pick up the partially filled soil canister. It won't pick up the small canister. But because this is soil, it can't tell how full a soil canister is. This also goes for gas canisters and hydrazine. So it'll pick up any container that is however full. It doesn't have to be completely full, and it can't distinguish between partially full and full. Scrap is unique. So if you take a piece of scrap and put it on a connector, it automatically turns into packaged scrap. Now, if we filter for packaged scrap, it's not going to pick up anything. So these item IDs are different. If we take this away, it'll pick up everything. So this is of particular note if you're going to make something that say like a vehicle that has an auto arm in it that's going to pick up scrap. You can't filter for scrap because whatever you put on there will instantly turn into packaged scrap, and then it won't filter for that. And again, it doesn't care about the fullness. So this is 1 in there and that has 2 in it. It just picked that up fine. The auto arm has some interesting characteristics when dealing with some of the other machinery in Astroneer. So for the smelting furnace, it will put anything that can be smelted on the smelting furnace, and it won't put anything else on there. So in this case, it's not going to pull this off of here. For the soil centrifuge, it'll actually put anything on the soil centrifuge, so you got to be careful about that. You want to filter for soil when you're putting stuff on the soil centrifuge. Otherwise, it will just put something there and then you can't attach anything. for the research station, it will put anything on the research station. And if this thing is set up to start up, it'll start up. It can pull stuff off of there in some circumstances. There's been a couple of times where it hasn't been able to do that, but you got to be careful about that as well, because under some circumstances it can pull research samples off of the research station when it is researching. For the printers, so this works for any printer, the auto arm cannot put stuff on the printer, but it can remove stuff from the printer. So it's just searching for iron. It can pull the iron off, but it can't put it on. For the chemistry lab, it can only put stuff that is actually set up to be run in the chemistry lab. So here you can see it's not putting anything on because I'm making plastic. That's carbon and compound. If I change it to organic and resin, it'll put it right on there. And it can flip this around and it'll pull it right off. So it'll pull anything off of there, but it will only put up what the recipe calls for on there. The atmospheric condenser, you can put anything on and pull anything off. So again, you got to be careful of that. If you're using unfiltered auto arms, you may get some weird stuff on there. Some of the best new features, I think, is you can scrap things. You can pick it up and it'll put it right in there and it'll scrap it. And that's amazing. We now have an automated way to scrap tier 1 items. That is fantastic, and I use it a lot to make scrap nowadays. The other fantastic new addition is you can automatically put stuff on a trade platform. So before you couldn't put anything on the trade platform. This will pull anything off and put anything on. So again, you want to make sure you're filtering for scrap that you're putting on that you want to trade. And this goes also for the XO request platform. So the XO request and trade platform both react the same way. You can put anything on and off. So that's some interesting behavior of the auto arm. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.